Hello, this is Jeff Hamrick from Rhodes College again, and I'm going to spend two screencasts discussing how we can create confidence intervals for the true proportion of the time that we see heads come up when we spin a coin using sampling with replacement as our randomization technique. So I'm going to go on ahead and import into Fathom the coin spinning data that has been collected by students at the college. They have spun pennies 780 times in total, and observed that only 325 times out of 780 times, or I think that's 41.67% of the time, do we actually see a heads come up, meaning the process of spinning a coin presumably is definitely biased in favor of tails. We've actually already run a hypothesis test using a randomization procedure to validate this idea, but now we want to develop a confidence interval for what proportion of the time we expect to see heads under a coin spin. And our philosophy for doing so is going to be the following. I'm going to sample from this set of data with replacement. So I'm not going to check off this with replacement option like we have been doing recently in class. I'll turn the animation off to keep things relatively fast, and I'll allow the replacement of existing cases. I want to replicate the behavior collectively of an experiment in which a coin is spun 780 times. So I'm going to change the 10 to 780 here, and I'll sample more cases. That takes just a second to do. And let's take a look at this table. Looks the same. It's populated with heads and tails. These were generated by sampling once again with replacement from the original set of data. The summary table in this case, however, is a little bit different. That's because of the randomness associated with sampling randomly with replacement. This time we see 308 heads out of 780 coin flips in total, and that's obviously going to change each time that we reproduce this act of sampling with replacement. So I want to keep track of the count of the heads that we see each time as we engage in that sampling with replacement. So I'm going to impose a measure on this sample box. That measure is obviously going to be the count of heads, and the formula will be the count of the result equal to heads, and it's 308 for this particular resample. That matches this value right here. We know that we're not satisfied with doing this just once. We want to collect many measures, so I'll collect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now Fathom does sampling with replacement a little bit slowly, okay? To speed it up, not spin it up, but speed it up, I'm going to delete this table and delete this summary box right here. I'm going to turn the animation off, and I'm going to ask Fathom to go on ahead and collect a modest number of measures, not a very large number of measures, by sampling with replacement. I'll give Fathom a minute to do this. It's going to take a few minutes, so I'm going to go on ahead and end our first screencast here. When we get back, we'll see how we can use these measures that we've collected to compute an empirical confidence interval for the true proportion of the time we see heads when we spin a coin.